We are at question 5 of the CSEC Mathematics January 2026 paper. Now remember, I want you to try the questions before you watch me or anybody else work out the solutions, alright? Here, it says some grade 11 students were surveyed to determine the job sector in which they are most likely to seek employment after graduating. Okay, good. And by the way, remember to, you should like the video. Alright? Press the like button. Share the video with somebody else. Alright. Their choices are represented on the pie chart below. Okay. So we have our pie chart here. Calculate the percentage of students who are likely to seek employment within the agriculture and ICT sectors. Alright. Percentage in agri and ICT. This is something here. Just make a note. Percentage in agriculture and the ICT sector. Now, we want to look. Remember, it's percentage, you know. Now look at this. Although you probably are not able to see it too well. I wasn't able to get a physical copy and to scan it. Right? I saw this and I screenshot it from the internet. Agriculture and ICT. Now look at agriculture. It is, the angle is 40.5 degrees, right? So agri 40.5 degrees and ICT sector 67.5 degrees. 67.5 degrees. Now, it's a pie chart, it's a full circle. What's the total angle in a circle again? Remind me. Okay, 360 degrees. So, the total is 360 degrees, alright? Now, you're asked for, where is it again? The percentage of students in the agriculture and ICT sectors. Percentage. Now, if you have 360 degrees, suppose it was a case like this, and this was 180 degrees. It would be half of 360, 180 over 360. And to get the percentage, you multiply by 100 and work it out, right? And you get 50%. See that? Suppose it wasn't half. Suppose it wasn't 180 degrees. Suppose it was 90 degrees. You can see it's a quarter, which is 90 over 360 times 100. Give you 25%, which is a quarter, right? You have to remember your percentage, you know. Now the question says percentage in the agriculture and the ICT. So you combine both of them. Now, here, agri plus ICT sector, the angle is 40.5 plus 67.5. This is what now? 67.5 plus 40.5. 5 and 5, 10, bring down the 0, carry 1. 7 and 1, 8, 6 and 4, 10. So, you have a total of 108 degrees. Now, just like how you'd have 180 over 360. If it was 180, this is going to be 108 over 360. It's 108. So the percentage would be 180 over 360 times 100. So let's work that out. Let's reach for our calculator. 180 divided by 360 equals times 100. Okay. 50. No, it's not 180. Where did 180 from? It's 108 over 360, right? And multiply by 100 and you get 30 degrees, right? So it's 30 degrees. So for that part, this is question 5A1. Question 5A1, it is 30 degrees. I'm going to write it down just in case. Just in case I need to use it again. After this, they want the value of P, by the way. The thing here, this part was 2 marks, the value of P 3 marks. So here we have more work to do. Right? The value of P. So this is question 5A2. Here, they want the value of P. Now, notice you have 4P. What is this angle here? It's 90 degrees. That's how you represent 90. 4P, 90, 67.5, 2P, 3P, 40.5. What do they all add up to? 360, of course. See that? So, let's add all of these angles starting at the 90 degrees. 90 for healthcare. So you have 90 degrees plus 67.5 degrees for ICT. So that's 67.5 degrees plus 2P degrees for real estate. So you have 2P plus 3P degrees for education. So you have 3P plus 40.5 degrees for agriculture. 40.5 degrees plus, remember these are degrees too. Plus what? 4P degree for government. So it's 4P degrees equal. They all add to 360 degrees. So you see that? All of those angles add up to 360 degrees. So we're going to do this thing now. Let's put like terms together, all the p's together. You have 2p plus 3p plus 4p. I'm not going to write the degrees here. Plus numbers, 90 plus 67.5 plus 40.5 equal 360. See that? Now you have 2p plus 3p plus 4p. 3 and 2, 5 and 4. That would be what? 9p. So 9p plus. Alright, so let's just use the calculator and deal with these quickly. You have 90 plus 67.5 plus 40. Hold on. 67.5 plus 40.5 equal 198. So that's plus 198 equals 360. You see how that goes? After that, you're going to remember, I'm writing the steps just to show the working. You wouldn't need to write SUBTRACT 198 in exam, right? Remember, we're not in exam. I'm not going to rush it as if I was in exam. we're looking at a discussion of the principles and why you do what you do. Alright? So subtract 198 from both sides. You have 9p plus 198 equals 360. In order to get the p equal, you're going to get rid of the 198 and get rid of the 9. So minus 198 minus 198. So you take it away from both sides. Alright? At this part, 198 minus 198 is 0. So you don't have to worry about it again. You have 9p equals, what's 360 minus 198 again? 360 minus that equal 162. So 9p is equal to 162. So what you do now to get rid of the 9 from the p, you are going to divide by 9. Don't divide it back up here and mess it up. You already have that as a part of the step. Just go down to the next line. 9p equals 162, and then you do what you're doing there. You divide by 9. You have 9 cancels 9. 9 divided by 9 is going to be 1. So you have p equal. And the 162 over 9 is equal to that over 9, 18. Okay. So p is equal to 18. And by the way, before we move on, remember, you see the 9p over 9, how you cancel? Is you can rewrite this as 9 times p over 9 times 1, right? So this is 9 divided by 9 times p over 1. 9 is 1 9 into 9. That's 1. So p over 1 is the same as p. So that's how you get this, right? That's how it cancels. So p is equal to 18. Right? P is equal to 18 degrees. 3 times p degrees, 2 times p degrees, and so on. So p is equal to 18 degrees. Alright. So what you have, this would be 4p degrees, 3p degrees, 2p degrees. You multiply each by 18 to get the angle. Alright. Now, what else happened here? What else is going on here? What they say? After the value of p, oh, looks like that part is taken care of. Let's look at part B now. Liz has a set of red, yellow, and white buttons in a sack. Okay. She chooses a button at random. The probability that she chooses a yellow is 0.3. Okay. The probability that she chooses a white button is 0.1. Determine the probability that Liz chooses a red button. Okay. Now, here you have red, yellow, white. Alright, to match everything together, let me change the background of the screen and erase what we did before. Now, oh no, what happened there? Is this what I want? Alright. Here now. Red, yellow, white. Probability of a yellow is 0.3. So, probability of a yellow is 0.3 of randomly choosing a yellow. The probability that she randomly chooses a white is 0.1. So, the probability that a white is chosen is 0.1. Y for yellow, W for white. And then the probability, what's the probability that Liz chooses a red button? So you're finding the probability that she chooses a red button. Now, look at it. You have only yellow, white, and red button. And she chooses a button. She will choose either a yellow, a white, or a red. There is absolutely no chance that any other button could be chosen because there is no other button in there. So one of them, the one that she chooses, has to be either yellow, white, or red. So that means when a button is chosen, you can be 100% sure that it is either yellow, white, or red. If it's not yellow or white, it must be red. Alright? So probability, what you have here is the probability of a yellow plus the probability of a white being chosen plus the probability of a red being chosen must all add up to 100%. Or they give us as decimal, so it's 0. No, my gosh, it's 1. You can say 1.0 if you want. Alright, let's write it as 1.0. 1 decimal place because they give these as decimal places. Alright? Now, if you transpose for the red, and the probability that a red is chosen is equal to 1.0 minus the probability of a yellow, because you subtract yellow from both sides. Now you subtract white from both sides, minus probability that is a white. Now, what will happen here is 1.0 minus 0.3 minus 0.1. You see what happened there? I'm sure you're following it up. Right? Let's just make this thing quick with a calculator. So it's 1 minus 0.3 minus 0.1 equals 0.6. So the probability of choosing a red is 0.6. So 0.3 plus 0.1 plus 0.6 give you 1. Alright? Same thing as saying 100%. Alright? Now, the next thing. If there were 80 buttons in the sack originally, determine the number of buttons that were red or yellow. Alright. So you have the total equal 80 buttons, total of 80 buttons in the sack. How many buttons were red or yellow? Right? So, number of red or yellow. Now, they ask for number of red or yellow. So you're going to see how many red and how many yellow and add them. So number of red equal. Now remember, the number of them is going to be the probability multiplied by 80. If you think of it, suppose 40 of them, or suppose the probability of choosing a red was half. That would mean half of them must be red. So it would be 40, right? You expect 40. Half by 80, 40. Right? If all of them were red, the probability of choosing a red would be 1. 1 by 80 is 80. If there were no red, probability of choosing a red would be 0. 0 by 80. And so on. So, probability of the number of red is 0.6 times 80 equal 680 is what, 48? So it's 48, right? That's the number of red. And the number of yellow, the probability of yellow was what again? 0.3. So it would be 0.3 times 80, which is 24. Okay? So, number of them that are red are yellow. Number of red or yellow will be equal to, well, 48 plus 24. This is what? This would be 48 plus 24 is equal to 8 and 4, 12, bring down the 2, carry 1, 4 and 2, 6 and 1, 7. 72. Alright? So, that is what you have. Probability yellow 0.3. So you say probability yellow 0.3, probability white 0.1. And it asks you for number that were red or yellow. So probability of red 0.6 is 0.6 by 80. Probability of red of yellow is 0.3 by 80. So when you work it all out, you get 72 for either red or yellow. That means only 8 of them were white. Alright? Which is 0.1 by 80. Right? Would be 8. And that's it for question 5. We'll look at question 6 at another time. So I'll see you then.